Well, good morning. Dr. Glenn here with another Monday Morning Motivation. So we're well into September, and hopefully that means the kids are back into school. We're back into our regular routines at work. Hopefully schedules have settled down a little bit, and it's a really good time to start talking about all the beneficial things we can be doing with this kind of mini New Year's, or I call it the New Year trial run for September. I think it's even better than New Year's Eve to start thinking about what we want to see for the new year, putting that important stuff into the schedule, and making sure that the next 12 months are the best 12 months that we could possibly think of. So today I've got kind of three different tasks for you. They're kind of like what we talked about in January 1st, how to make sure that we're putting everything into the schedule that we want, how to make an easy schedule, especially for those of us with little kids running off to school. How do we calm down the schedule, and how do we make sure that we're doing everything that we dreamed of we want to be doing throughout the next year. So the first tip for this week or goal is to make sure that you sit down with the family, everybody that's important in terms of making decisions, and really brainstorm what you want the year to look like. It really is a very fun evening if you sit down with your spouse, get a cup of tea, and just think about all the things that you've always wanted to do and put those down on a piece of paper. Make sure you list them in priorities of the things you really want to make sure you accomplish, or make sure that you're really promoting with your kids this year, and write them out on a list. Now, the second one is to start putting them into the schedule. You know, we have these clean schedules ahead of us, and we can really start to organize our lives very well in September. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the analogy. It's one of my favorites, where you have a glass jar, and you're wanting to fill it with a bunch of different items. And the first guy comes along and he puts all the sand in first, and then he puts in the smaller rocks, and then he tries to put in the big rocks, and he just doesn't have enough room in the jar to put the big stuff in. Second person comes along, probably the female because they're much smarter, and she puts in, or my wife, she puts in all the big stuff first, puts in all the big stones into the jar, then she starts funneling in all the little stones around the big stones, and then finally she pours in the sand, and the sand settles in around all the bigger, larger items. It's exactly what we should be doing with our schedule. If you put in that most important stuff first, the really important things, and make sure that it actually gets into your jar or into your schedule, and then fill in the little stuff later on. So that's what I want you to work on after you've had your nice cup of tea and you brainstormed all these wonderful things. Then you start putting them into the schedule. Now, the last one is how to actually calm down our schedules. If you're like us, we're so busy with the kids in the morning, and some of you getting them out the door to school, both parents going the opposite way to class or to work. And how do we organize this? And it really highlights how important the morning rituals are in the evening rituals. And what I mean by rituals is a very set standard schedule that we have. We wake up in the morning and you have this written out. The first thing that you do is you go in and you have your shower and you brush your teeth. Then you go and you have your smoothie. Then you go and you drag your kids out of bed. You want them at the breakfast table right away, and then they're to go in and change. Maybe you're going out for your exercise, your run with your spouse first thing in the morning. Whatever it is, you make sure that you have that time set minute by minute in the morning until everybody's out the door, and then again in the evenings, making sure that that you do a family check-in maybe, and you ask everybody how the day is. Maybe dinner time becomes very important for your family. Making sure that the kids lay out their school clothes the next day, or lunches get made. All those items that just every day happen in the evening. Putting those into a schedule and having those routines really takes so much stress and pressure off ourselves and our family. It's really the most important part of the schedule. First thing in the morning, and the last thing in the evening. So that's what I have to say about September. It really is an exciting time of year. If we really just spend a couple days, couple evenings focusing and setting up the next 3-4 months, or even the next year, we're definitely going to reap the rewards and have a wonderful year because of it. So you know where I am, Dr. Glenn at rfwellness.ca. If you have any questions or concerns, want to know how we set up our schedules, by all means, I love chatting with the online community here. If I don't hear from you, have a wonderful week. Have fun scheduling with your husband or wife, and I'll see you next Monday morning.